Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's get into the final main story of today, and that has to do with the Fantastic Four. Now, of course, we've recently been talking a lot about the Fantastic Four. Had a test screening in Long Beach last week. Mixed results on the test screening. A lot of drama surrounding the coverage of that, which we went over yesterday. Well, one of the things we didn't talk too much about yesterday was the fact that immediately after that, down in Mexico, there was a big CCXP presentation, and the cast of the Fantastic Four came out on stage, and you're looking at it right now if you're watching on the video podcast or if you're watching on the clip or here on the live stream. You can see them all on stage, and I just wanted to bring this up because it's possible something like this could happen at Comic-Con, but I would say it probably will happen at other things like CCXP over the next couple of weeks as we maybe get closer to Fantastic Four, right? So you're not going to get that big Comic-Con push, but I think you'll probably get some stuff like this. And the other part of this is that there was a big scene shown to all of the people there. And I want to read the description for this footage. It does have a lot of people excited. And I think especially because there's some questions about that screening last week, right? And what the hell was that all about? People didn't necessarily love it. Well, this was something that people did love. You know, the people in the room apparently went nuts for this. And by all accounts, it looked incredible. Full-on spectacle, okay? So let's get into it here. I don't think this is spoilers. I mean, it's potentially confusing a little bit if you're following along with the leaks. I don't really think it's spoilers, but here we go. At this year's CCXP in Mexico City, Fantastic Four cast appeared to tease the film and unveil some new footage. Omelette broke down the scene screened at the convention, which follows the Fantastic Four as they're chased in their ship by the Silver Surfer Shalla-Bao. They're leaving a planet that seems to have been consumed or is being consumed by Galactus. And to make matters even more stressful, the pregnant Sue Storm, Vanessa Kirby, has gone into labor. That is all really interesting. Sue's husband, Reed, assists her in the delivery, which we probably saw in that scene where she's in the very first trailer. I pointed this out in the first breakdown, but she's like glitching or whatever. Like you'll notice that, like it seems like she's probably giving birth there. Okay, so that's probably that in the delivery. While Ben Grimm flies the ship, and Sue's brother Johnny tries to fight Shalla-Bao. The Silver Surfer is apparently hunting Sue and Reed's baby, likely because their son Franklin grows up to harness reality-bending powers. To avoid Shalla-Bao, Reed orders Ben to fly into a black hole. The scene ends there, but it could be safe to theorize at this moment the Fantastic Four are transported to Earth 616. I actually don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's what's going on. But the scene sounds really cool. This scene sounds cool. Now, there's a couple of things I'm confused about. I'm a little confused about how Johnny's fighting the Silver Surfer, because there's a part in the trailer where Johnny goes out away from the atmosphere and he can't flame on. Okay, so was there something going on? Did they figure out a way to make Johnny be able to flame on in space? I'm kind of confused by that. You know, because it's like, how is he going to be out there fighting against Shalla-Bao in space? Or is this in the atmosphere of that planet that's being destroyed? Not really sure. Okay. But I got to tell you, I think despite what this scene makes people think is happening, I don't think that's what's happening in this scene. But obviously, like, yes, they will fly or potentially fly close into that black hole. This kind of connects to some other stuff I heard about the film that I don't necessarily want to talk about. But this scene is described as like pure spectacle, beautiful, completely finished effects. And it just seems so crazy in sort of cosmic scale. There's a moment where apparently she literally reaches for Sue's stomach. Like she's going to rip that baby right out of Sue. And it's like, holy shit. So maybe they're just fighting against her within the ship or something. It's hard, man. I've heard a bunch of things, and it's like that telephone game. And there's also a language barrier there too. So whoever all these people were that saw this, there's like a lot of accounts out there. But this is the gist of what it is. So you have them having the birth in space, being chased by Shalabao. Johnny's trying to stop her. Reed is helping Sue. Ben's flying the ship. And then it gets so desperate that at one point they have to fly towards a black hole. Awesome. And that's just one little sequence in the film. But like, if the movie is generally filled with a lot of moments like this, because the reason I like it is the family's being the family. You know what I mean? Like, Ben's being the pilot. Johnny's being the hothead that's powerful. And I mean, honestly, like, Human Torch pretty powerful. You know what I mean? So flying around, being their sort of aerial fighter, fighting against them. And then you have Sue, you know, obviously incapacitated, dealing with pregnancy, and Reed's there trying to help her out, right? So you have like the full skill set on display. And I'm just imagining like the visuals of what this will look like. Maybe they are in another universe and they watch Galactus destroy a planet or something, and then they jump through a portal or a black hole back to their own Earth. But yeah, it's fascinating, right? It's fascinating stuff. And it would appear that like when Shalabao first comes to Earth, it's probably the case that this is before the birth. So I want you to think about that. So, like, that means that Galactus is aware of Franklin's power before he even leaves the womb. That's wild. So what does that mean? Does that mean he's just aware because of journeying around the multiverse, who Franklin is? Is there some kind of cosmic connection where, like, it's connected to the same cosmic power that he has, so he's aware of it? Is Franklin emanating a signal that's so powerful that's, like, Galactus can just know what it is? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about how that would work. But damn, dude, imagine, like, your unborn child. That's some Rumpelstiltskin shit, you know? Like, Galactus is, like, rolling up, trying to get this baby. Silver Surfer is willing to snatch her right out of her stomach. Probably not cool. Probably not that chill. So this really did excite people, man. So I wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of people are, you know, right now maybe questioning the Fantastic Four a little bit. I think the buzz around that screening last week was not necessarily super hyped up. But again, a lot of that stuff I heard from the one last week, dude. Whoo, I heard they're cooking, man. And I'm excited to see a lot of this stuff. So yeah, we'll kind of leave you with that as the description. Thanks for watching. And if you like this clip, smash a like on the actual video and subscribe to this channel. That way more of these clips get into your feed. I've also linked the full episode below if you want to check out the entire thing, including the Q&A we do with fans. You can also watch this show live. We do it live Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And you can also find all of my content, including the videos I put on my main YouTube channel, on the podcast feed.